Ah, the elusive, enchanting manatee. Once historically mistaken for mermaids, now they are often referred to as the sea cow. I'm not really sure how people got confused here, but we're lucky to have them around. It wasn't long ago that the manatee was put on the endangered species list.
What I recall hearing is that there were as few as around 400 in the 1970s.
Crystal River is a small town in Florida, recently named by HGTV as one of the top 50 most charming small towns in America. But why? I'm convinced that one of the key features that makes this town so charming is the resident manatee population and the unique identity the town has developed because of these gentle creatures.
So it's been interesting here because we've progressively seen more manatees the further away from tourists that we have gotten. Initially we did a boat tour that took us around the bay and we went to certain quote-unquote neighborhoods where manatees hang out.
Manatees, like some of the town's human retirees, are snowbirds by nature.
Later on we rented kayaks and went near the Three Sisters, which is a preserve.
Interestingly, that's not where we saw the most manatees either.
So manatees come from the Gulf of Mexico into tiny little rivers and inlets around this area to find warmer water during the winter, which is normally from November to end of March. And we are here toward the end of the season, but we have still been finding lots of manatees around.
But unluckily, not too many on our official tour. Maybe manatees also like to avoid the crowds.
But we did find a couple and they were really fun to observe in the water.
Bubbles on the water is one way to know if a manatee is about to surface. One of them had a clear, definitive scar on her back, possibly due to an earlier injury from a collision with a boat. These types of injuries were one of the reasons manatees were once endangered.
They're really amazing, very peace-loving creatures actually. Today this place was very busy and now it's become very calm and this neighborhood is relatively calm. We just had dinner at the seafood cellar, which I believe other videos I've seen have recommended it, but it really is superb actually.
Seafood cellar is normally busy, and especially that day because of an old car show taking place outside.
So there was quite a bit of a wait. We ended up going and doing our own thing.
Our own thing was, well, going to the old car show. Then came dinner.
Yeah, really delicious food. The gumbo was delicious.
Delicious, actually. I can't stop eating.
And then I had the catfish Louisiane, which was awesome. Just fried fish with blue crab cake on top. And then I believe it's called étouffée gravy with lots of little crawfish meat in that. This is really good. Étouffée gravy, is that what it is?
It's delicious. The crab cake is very rich, very crab.
So we then rented kayaks. Okay. That was a lot of fun because we kind of controlled where we went a little bit more. That was along the route near the Three Sisters. But actually when we arrived at the Three Sisters, which is a preserve, actually in the preserve itself there were no manatees and very light on seagrass, which I believe they're working on cultivating now because they had certain areas closed off to help it thrive.
It wasn't all bad news though. Though the Three Sisters Spring Preserve did not seem to be of much interest to the manatees, other more commonplace sites were teeming with lush grass and manatee activity.
The canals around that area were a little different. Places for manatees to feed were actually thriving more in the little canals. Heading into one of these inlets that is supposed to have really clear water, and hopefully we'll find some manatees over here to hang out with. You are always seeing this chewed up grass on the top of the water. That's a good sign that manatees are in the area. And look how clear that water is. There actually we did run into a mother manatee and her calf, which was really cool.
Manatees and people have shared a special relationship. Over the past few hundred years, we have both harmed and helped them. We help them by putting in place measures to protect these gentle creatures, knowing that towns like Crystal River are made more charming by their presence. Since the 1970s, manatees are doing much better as a population. Once only a few hundred, there are now over 13,000 West Indian manatees, with over 6,000 of these in Florida. But manatees continue to face steep challenges that threaten their survival, such as the widespread decrease in seagrass and continued boat collisions. Manatees may not be mermaids after all, but they still want to be a part of your world. We need to continue to look out for them so that the progress made over the past few decades is not lost. If you're new to our little channel, welcome. This is Far Off the Mark, where we're all about exploration. If you liked what you saw here or see potential, give us a like or subscribe to encourage us to keep going.